Okay. So we got 4 inductees. I'm in charge of one, but to be honest with you, I feel like I'm in charge of all of them. I've had connections with all of them up here, and that's pretty impressive. You know, it's kind of like this town here. Why do we have it here? Because this town has a lot to be proud of, and it has a lot of history, and it has a lot of future. We can see that table out there right now. I mean, it's got so many wrestling names here that that is unbelievable. You know, for me, it was unbelievable. I mean, there was rumors in the old days about this town, and you know what? We want to get back to there, where these rumors are reality. It's been both the same in the past. So anyway, I'm starting out with introducing the first inductee, and that's John Bowlsby, right over here. And you know, I was a young guy, just out of the Worlds, and well, actually, I was still training in my day for the Worlds and for the Olympic Games. Just graduated from Iowa State, and I had to go home quite a bit. My hometown is Waterloo. This guy was there. He helped me train. And not only did he help me train there, but we went up to places like Okoboji, Iowa, where we had camps, and Tom Peckham was up there as well. He helped me train. John Bowlsby helped me train. He helped me train in the West Waterloo room. He helped me train in my basement. I had a mat there. He helped me train in my garage. I had a mat there. He helped me train in a barn. I had a mat there. Helped me train in a car dealership. We had a mat there. So what I'm saying here, there's a lot of help to becoming a champion in this sport, especially when you get a lot of people that actually step up to do that. So John actually has done a lot in the sport, and he continues to do a lot of sport, stuff that you won't even know. You know, he did a lot. He was 2-time state champion, West Waterloo, under Coach Bob Siddons, and he actually helped shape and mold my coaching career because I made some mistakes on him. And what do you say, mistakes? Well, he's getting inducted in the Hall of Fame. How do you make mistakes? Well, you learn as you make progress, and you actually continue to learn forever in your profession and in your family. If you don't, you stay level or you go backwards. And if I had to do it all over again with a guy like him, when I was influencing him a lot, right out of high school, he made the senior world championship team. And a good coach, which I wasn't a good coach yet, I was okay, but not a good one. And so you look at, kind of see what he has done already. Well, he's a 2-time state champion, but he hadn't even went to college yet. And he made a senior world team and went all the way to maybe Turkey. And I was, coaching at that time, at that level. It was a big honor, big deal for him to make that team. But he hadn't really participated and won a medal or he hadn't won the gold medal anyway, in the Junior World Championships. So it's like progress. You need to make progress before you actually get to the highest level. Because there's certain things in life that if you don't make that progress, you can kind of falter a little bit. There's nothing more important in a wrestler than his mind. And you have to feel really good about yourself. So you build on that. You build. And so one of the mistakes I believe is letting him go to the Senior World Championships when he still had 2 more years of eligibility at the Junior World Championships. Even though he stepped up and he won freestyle and Greco-Roman national titles, it's like this is the world, and so it's one of those things. But he came on and we both talked a little while ago. He came right in and he was a part of the first national championship at the University of Iowa for wrestling. And he was actually the last point scored, I believe, to win that national championship that year. And so that gave Iowa, and I know we got a few people that won't like this, but it gave us a half a point win over Iowa State, which, you know, hey, let's keep it in the state, all right? So if we don't win it, you know, we want Iowa State to win it, but we just happened to win it by half a point. And he was, you know, the last points scored. So, you know, that's very, very important. So then, you know, he's third in the nation as a freshman right out of high school. Had I been had a little bit better coach, I probably would have, you know, had him go to the Junior Worlds. He would have won the Junior Worlds and he'd become a gold medalist, and then he probably would have won. You know, that's just the way I think, because the mind is so important in our sport. And he went on to win 2 more All-Americanships. And, you know, as he was at Iowa, I probably let him do some things that maybe he should have done or shouldn't have done. I don't know. But, if, you know, if I had to do them over again, I might have done just a little bit of difference, just from the standpoint of like, he decided that he wanted to go out for football. And we let him go out for football. And, you know, he had some momentum going, and maybe it slowed him down a little bit. Maybe it made him a little bit more worldly. As you get older, you know, when you're young, it's pretty easy to focus on a lot of things. But as you get older, you got to kind of filter down into that thing that really makes you good as in your profession and in your family. You know, and so it's probably you know, for me, I look at it as probably, you know, not such a good idea. But at the same time, you live and learn. So anyway, John Bowlsby helped me win a world and Olympic championship. You know, I helped John Bowlsby actually become a good wrestler. Maybe not as good as I think I could have helped him had I had a little more experience. I was pretty young. But at the same time, you know, it's an honor to have him come up here. And, you know, it's like me. I'm working on wrestling every day. You know, that's just the way it is. And I'm working on my profession, and that's my profession. I'm working on my family every day. That's just where it is. And I'm telling you, it's something that you have to do if you want to keep it going as good as you can keep it going. But I look at here, and it's like when I see all these people here tonight, it's a great crowd. We got an outstanding group of people. For me, it's like, wow. This guy, he's mad at me, but this guy, he's okay. He likes me. And this guy, I don't know. You mad at me? Did we ever wrestle? Yeah, we wrestled. He's mad at me. So he's not telling the truth. But for the sport, you know, it's one of these things that I'm really proud to be able to, you know, bring a guy like John Bowlsby up here to talk. Just because, you know what, I measure people not by what they did when they wrestled for me or when they wrestled back in college. I measure people by what they are doing today. And I think he's doing pretty well. I think he's doing pretty well in his business. And if he's not, he's got an older brother here, and his dad's out here, and there's everybody else out here. That would keep him in line probably, just because, you know, his older brother's doing okay. So one of these things too. So one of these things that and it's with Cresco, Iowa. You know, the bottom line. You know, it's Cresco, Iowa, because you got Nichols, you got Kurtelmeyer. I mean, these people are unbelievable in my life, and that's why for me it's like when I look around before I bring John up here, it's like, wow. Let's blow this wall out and put in some more seats and fill this arena. You know, it's like we've already filled it, but let's make it even bigger. And I know we have a Waterloo Museum too, and it used to be like we kind of competed against each other a little bit. Where's Gooder? Yeah, because, you know, he was hard to compete against, you know, at one time. He's coming around. But, you know, it's like, to me it's like we have somebody representing the Waterloo Dan Gable Museum, Waterloo. It's Mike Doty. He's out here somewhere. But it's like, if we don't work together, we don't win together. That's the bottom line, especially in our sport. And that's what's good about Cresco, and that's what's good about Waterloo, and that's what's good about our whole sport, we're starting to get to the point where we're working together more and we're going to win together more. I mean, Mike Chapman's back there. He started that Waterloo Museum in Newton, Iowa, and you know we've had issues at times, but it's you know, every time we don't have a positive result, it goes negative. So anyway, enough talking with me. I just say this is a perfect place to have a vision of even a bigger museum, and people have already talked to me about doing stuff greater for the sport, because that's my mission every day, the sport. And Bob knows it, because I text him all the time, and he doesn't text me back, but well, he's pretty busy, football, basketball, but the guy comes from wrestling, you know. So anyway, I just want to say that it's pretty much an honor that I'm introducing John Bowlsby up here, because he's one of the first guys that came to Iowa, had a vision like the coach, Dan Gable, and we took us to another team, took us to record performances in spectatorship, and that is really crucial, and it also comes back to Cresco, Iowa. But I'm going to bring John Bowlsby up here to be able to finish this off. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dan. Do you need this? Okay. Thank you very much, Dan, for all those nice words. And it is, believe me, been an honor to be a part of your career and some of the work that you did through that time. When I came up here and found out I was going to be doing this, I kind of asked, well, okay, well, so what do you want on this speech? And so I went to the one person that knows speeches better than I do, and if you think you're getting a good speech here, you picked the wrong Bowlsby brother, because he's sitting down there. But he goes, first of all, he goes, 5 minutes or less, you get real bonus points. And he says, and then the other thing was, make sure that when you make sure that to give him the credit that is due for any successes that I had. And so I said, just to get it over with, thank you for everything you've done and everything I owe to you. so we're good to go on that. But the fact of the matter, there was one other thing I wanted to put in right now. Well, somebody had mentioned it. Tom Peckham, is he here? He is here in Becca. I don't know if you remember Mr. Peckham, but when I was about 15 years old, I was up at the Great Lakes Camp, and you gave me an outstanding lesson on how to be humble. I tell you what, I think Dan and Martin were over in the corner just laughing as you bounced me from one end of that place to the other, and I still remember it to this day. And it was a great lesson learned, and when I heard that you were sitting back there, I wanted to make sure I thank you for that, because that was very valuable to me. Well, the fact of the matter is, I have been very lucky. That's kind of the whole crux of it. I was lucky enough to have an extremely supportive family, people that stood behind me, got me to all the places that I needed to go to around God's green earth to get to a wrestling arena and or a gym and sit around and watch wrestling. And they seemed to like it during the course of it. I'm not sure it was always the case, but anyway, I had that, and then I also grew up in an area like Cresco. Waterloo had a great wrestling tradition. It was an area that people cared about wrestling, where wrestling was important, and where you felt like somebody to be a wrestler. And so that was something that I wanted to be. And then, of course, we started off, I was lucky enough to have some of the greatest high school coaching that was available. And I wish Bob Siddons could have been here. Wonderful, wonderful person, fine young man. He'd take us all along. You all know his stories. But he and Don Huff were instrumental in developing so many of my friends and myself as we were starting off wrestling. And then, of course, I had the opportunity to wrestle with the greatest coach, athlete, competitor that I've ever known. And thank you for that. It was certainly my pleasure. And he taught me things far beyond any risk. You know, he taught me how to look at yourself, how to decide, being critical of yourself, how to understand that, you know what, it stops here. Wrestling, you're all alone. It's just you out there, and if something needs to be changed, it's you that's going to change. And so you go out there and you fight. And you self-analyze and you work harder, self-analyze until you learn to get it right. And you may not always achieve that goal, but the act of moving towards that goal makes you a better person. Every single day, I relate back to beating I got from Tom Peckham, the many beatings I got from him, and just all the different matches through the years. I think I'm not sure whether it's Bill had asked me or once one of the guys asked me. She said, relate to, are there any matches that you remember that were important? And I said, well, you know, you look back and the ones that are really stand out. As it kind of turns out, you know, we had a lot of the close matches where it came down to the heavyweight at the Iowa State matches, and there are a few others. And most of those came out, you know, in a good way. But I thought back and I said, most of the matches that I remember in high school and college are the ones I lost. And I remember those because those were the ones that right after they were over, I thought about the most. Because I tried to figure out why. I tried to work on why and what I need to do to change, what do I need to do to get better. Those lessons that were learned there, I use every single day in the business that I'm in, the work that I do. I try and use it every single day. Now, with the company, I've got an old ex-wrestler as a partner. We've been partners for 30 years. And I've hired a lot of ex-athletes. I've hired a lot of, well, not ex-athletes, there's some athletes, I guess, but they look like ex-athletes. And I've hired several old wrestlers. And the one thing that we like about that type of person is it is somebody that will work hard. They can get knocked down and get back up. You know, they can take no for an answer and come back and get after it again. They can self-evaluate what they do and figure out what I did wrong and how can I change it. And they will keep coming back. And they'll keep coming back until they win. And that's what we want. And we're always looking for good people, so if you know anybody that's got that attitude, a chemical engineering degree helps. So you have them get a hold of me. But anyway, it's now what, 56 minutes is the record? If I beat that, then but no, I won't do that. So anyway, I just like to, this is an incredible honor to be amongst this group of, you know, I look at those names on the wall, and those are the names that I grew up wanting to emulate. And it's a wonderful honor, and I'm humbled to be mentioned in the same group with that. So thank you very much. I appreciate everything that you do, and I appreciate what you do for trying to continue to build and push wrestling forward. Thank you very much.